So there's been a bit of a grim update in the saga of motor yacht Fee. This is a yacht that has been arrested, detained in London since 2022, since just after the invasion of Ukraine by Russia. The vessel was arrested by the UK government. And yes, arrested is an official term. People who watch all the time will know, but there's always a comment or two in the comments section saying, making fun of the word arrested. It's an official term for a vessel that can be arrested. The vessel was a brand new yacht built by Royal Husman in the Netherlands, and she was delivered and effectively went straight to London for an award ceremony, which was held in I think January or February 2022. The vessel was due to leave in March and was prevented from leaving shortly after the UK authorities turned up and arrested the vessel. Now, the reason why this is different to all of the other vessels that have been arrested or seized or detained or whatever around the world is that the owner of this yacht is not under any sanctions. We've made various videos about this in the past. I will put some links if you want to go and see those videos. There's a lot of detail in there about what happened at the time and the court updates and things that have happened since. Now, like I said, March 22, it was arrested. It's physically unable to leave the location it's in. There's a lock that had to be opened and to let the vessel out. And the day they were due to leave, they told the vessel that the lock was out of order, so they couldn't leave. And the next day, the authorities turned up and arrested the vessel. So whether or not that lock was ever out of service, I don't know. Since then, there's been a number of appeals in the UK courts by the owner. A number of news articles from different CNN, BBC stuff happened with this vessel. Now, up until we did our video on the subject, none of them were interested in this story. We did a video talking about the difference between this vessel and the other vessels, and all of a sudden the BBC and the CNN and all that were interested in talking to the people who run that vessel. So whether or not you agree with the sanctions, you can, if there are a set of rules to be followed, then you can follow them, right? I used to work with a captain years ago, and he used to make his own rules up on the ship. It was on a cruise ship. He used to make his own rules up. So you can't follow somebody like that, because he just decides in his infinite wisdom to change the rules whenever he feels like it. And, that's not something you can follow. If there's a set of rules written down, you can follow them, right? Regardless of whether you think they're right or not. In this instance, this is the only vessel that's been detained without any sanctions against the owner. And in fact, his other vessels, he has some other vessels. He has Fee Phantom, which was a support vessel built specifically to support Fee, and that is moving freely within the European Union. And he has another vessel, I'm not sure if he still owns it, it was for sale, motor yacht Aurelia. That's an awesome boat with Gulf colours painted onto it, which we covered in the Monaco Yacht Show. We did a tour around the boat. Those vessels are free to move around the EU because he's not under any sanctions. But in the UK, his vessel has been detained. Now, in March next year, March 2025, it will be 3 years since that vessel was detained. Now, like I said, in July 2023, they went to court and tried to get it freed. The ruling was by the court that they felt that it could impact Russia's shipping fleet, and the fact that he was not sanctioned was irrelevant. And then there was a second appeal in January of 2024, and he also lost that one as well. And the vessel remains in Canary Wharf in London. Now there is another date where it will go to the UK Supreme Court in January of next year. Now this comes at the same time as apparently the owner of the vessel, who people close to the vessel say his name is Sergei Naumenko. That was the name that was on the court papers. He apparently has been diagnosed with a terminal illness. And so he apparently sees this as a last-ditch attempt to free his vessel from Canary Wharf, and that will be in January 2025. Now, one of the things that I still don't understand, and we've not been able to get any replies from the UK government, but we were told last year that the vessel was going to be moved. A yacht like this needs to be maintained. They can't do that in Canary Wharf. There's no facilities there. There's no dry dock. There's nowhere for them to have proper maintenance done on the vessel. These vessels need to be highly maintained, and usually a vessel of this type would go into, would be laid up in the winter and would go into some sort of maintenance period, whether it be, where she lays, or it might go to a shipyard and come out of the water. Certainly after 3 years, there would definitely be things that need to be done. And because the vessel's stuck there in Canary Wharf, it's starting to look rather dilapidated. We don't have any updated footage of the vessel, but it's got a lot of scaffolding on it now, and they're trying to do things in situ, but it's very difficult to do so. Now, what I don't understand is why the vessel wasn't allowed to be moved to a shipyard in the UK. Put a couple of Coast Guard people on board so the vessel doesn't do a runner, and let it go to a place where it can be serviced, right? I kind of see it as the equivalent of you being in prison and you're sick, right? They're not going to say, well, you're in prison, so you can't have any medical attention. So it's kind of, it's not exactly the same, but it's kind of the same thing. The vessel's detained, so allow it to go to somewhere where it can be repaired and have maintenance done on it. The stats of the vessel, it's a 58.5 metre, or 192 foot. I think it was at the time of its build. It's the largest vessel ever built by Royal Huntsman, and its value is approximately £38 million, which is about $50 million. Thanks very much for watching this video. You've been watching a Superyacht News clip. If you'd like to see the full unedited Superyacht News video, you can click on the link over here. You can also find our channel links below here. And if you'd like to see more shorter videos like this one, be sure to subscribe to this channel.